Yo, Wagwan, I'm in my bed. It is Sunday the 23rd. Sunday, oh my goodness gracious. It is 23:03, Sunday the 10th of September. I can't sleep. It's probably because I had an energy drink today. I have been broke for about at least 2 weeks. And the sweet release of caffeine into my veins pleased me. I'm in my bed. I'm looking forward to this week. It's my last 2 days at work here with the university. It'll be quite nice. There's a couple of things I want to finish up, so I'll be making my little home dog work hard. Rest in peace, James. Love you, James. I'm looking forward to moving. I'll be moving soon. In fact, I've packed up my bathroom as of I think it was Saturday or Friday. I think it was Wednesday last week, and it's just been immaculate since then. But I've tried my best not to use it, so I shower in there, and it's the only thing I do in there now. I might have to go and get a duster for all the body hair that's just everywhere. I'm like a little wild animal. I should just go and dip myself in hair remover, I think. Besides that, it's all looking good. Slowly moving shit out of my current room so that I can have the space to clean properly. It's a little bit tight right now with everything. I've got a coat rack that no one seems to want. So it might come live with me in the room, or it might come live somewhere else. I've got to sign a very fancy contract for the new place. I'm not going to be a tenant. I'm going to be a room lodger or something like that, where I just sleep in this bed, and that's all the rights that I have. I don't think that's a bad thing though. Yeah. I've been wanting to try and be creative for a while now, and for some reason I'm struggling. I think I've been going through quite a process over the last few days, especially. Lots of tears on Saturday, lots of tears, and lots of other things, but it's all out now, and I don't plan on spending any more money to replace it, and I'm all out of tears, so that's good. Today was very nice. Thanks to certain individuals. Thanks, guys, and some video games and some co-op and good times. Well, I have chocolate now. I ran out of chocolate as well on Saturday. Man, Saturday was rough. Saturday was rough. Holy shit. There's just been this, bottomed out feeling, and I don't know, man. I don't know. The thing about life is, I keep trying to tell everyone this, it's a roller coaster. So you want to just make sure you're strapped in and then hold on for dear life. And it goes, and it goes, and it goes. And it goes up and down and left and right and all kinds of stuff. But the idea is, this too shall pass, right? That's the saying. And I had an issue where I hadn't put enough effort in. I still haven't put enough effort in. I gotta send my boss an email and ask him to reset my password, because I've done goofed my password up for my new job. And I got paperwork there. It's been waiting there for a while, so that sucks. that's my Monday thing. It's Monday. I mean, what I could do is I could schedule an email right now, have it scheduled delivered for Monday at like 9 o'clock in the morning. That could be pretty neat. But my plans for tomorrow are to get in, get some paperwork sorted. I gotta do timesheets, gotta do this. So yeah, Monday's looking forward to Monday. I've scavenged all my spare dosh. And I'm gonna be spending that on energy drinks tomorrow. So, fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah, energy drinks, caffeine floating in my veins. I like the idea of ice cold Coke as well, but I'm gonna have to make a choice there. I don't think I have enough, like a 4-pack. Well, I might have enough for a 6-pack. I've got about like £3, plus or minus small change. I'm craving it right now. When am I not craving it, huh? When am I not craving it? I'm craving an ice cold Coke. Oh my god! So when you have sugar, you want more. It's the secret, right? So I've had some caffeine today, and now I want more caffeine. But yeah, I was quite literally lying here, completely still, a few minutes ago, and I was just lying there, and I chose to take offense to flashing lights, and one of the little hubs in my room has about 4 network cables attached to it, and one of them is live, so they're all blinking to transfer data, and I chose to take offense to those lights. I had to get up and go and turn that thing upside down. But yeah, then I decided to do a podcast because I've been wanting to be creative, and I uploaded some YouTube videos. Not a lot of them were ready for public consumption, and so they've been taken down. A few of them have been taken down permanently. Yeah, it's life. Consent is cool, guys. Consent is cool. Let's see. I know I gotta talk about the cum sock, but I don't want to talk about the cum sock. Okay. Talking points. Here we go. Almost walking into a lamppost. I'm gonna delete that one because I think it happens quite a lot. So I don't think it's an actual talking point. Gonna delete the next one as well. No validation. Alright, here we go. So, alright. I was young, this is South Africa, back in South Africa. And I think this is like the second house that we're in. I think we moved like 3 times in South Africa. And well, basically I had these thick woolen socks that I never used to wear, and they were just given to me because no one else wanted them. And one day I heard about certain things you can do with socks and decided to give it a try. I tried like a few times, got some coffee burn. Anyway, socks didn't do it for me, and but I kept them for some reason. And I remember one day my dad came into my room. He's like, "Dude, gotta borrow some socks." And I was like, "Okay." I was lying there. He woke me up, so I don't think I was like all there. And he goes into my sock drawer, which is right next to my bed, and he pulls out one of the thick woolen socks. And I'm like, "Dad, you don't want that sock." And I think he asked me why not, and I didn't say anything. So for agonizing minutes, he rooted around for the other sock. It took ages, and I couldn't work up the muster to tell him that, dude, like one of those, I don't know which one it was, but one of them had like a mess in the bottom. Oh my god, I don't even think he realized. Because he put them on, I think, and he ran off for his hike, whatever it was. Uh, and then for some reason I've quoted James here. I think this is a James quote. Back to basics, skin on skin. James. I don't know why I wrote it like that. I wonder if that's a quote from James or if that's just something I had to. Anyway, yeah, it's more of a shame. That's a shame story. It's not a good story. I can finally delete that now. But, it definitely, yeah, it was an experience. To tell you that much. All right, let's see. Oh, a couple of my homies and I, we ran over to the park, and there was some benches that were getting dry. They were wet benches, right? So we decided to sit somewhere else. But the next day, we came back to the park, and we had a little group of us, and we wanted to sit on the benches. That's what we wanted to do. So there was like tape on the outlines of the sign. I reckon someone just removed the signs without checking to see if the benches were dry. And I remember James is sitting there, or James is standing there, and he's like, "Are you sure this is dry?" And it's dry on one half, and I guess it's progressively more wet the further towards James you were on this bench. And I'm sitting right next to James, right? And I'm sure it's wet. I'm sure as shit this bench is wet. This is like a wet paint bench, right? And my homie Dwayne's on the far side, and he's sitting down, he's touching it, he's like, "Nah, it's not wet, it's not wet at all." And I'm touching mine, and it feels okay. It feels slightly sticky to my hands. But I'm like, all right, that's not wetness. It must just be like the paint or something. So I sit down. And then throughout our time on the bench, we spent about an hour on the bench just talking and chilling out. And every at least 25 minutes, like 3 or 4 times throughout the hour, I just break into laughter, and I ask the guys, "Are we sure this bench is not wet?" Because James is always like that, in the entire time he's like, "Yo, this bench is wet. This bench is wet." And whenever he says the bench is wet, then we all have to check, right? So everyone's like touching it and we're like, it's totally not wet. And then eventually, at the very end, I try and get up because I want to throw something away. I have like a can of Coke or something, a can of something, whatever. Just gonna go recycle it. So I get up. When I get up, there's the sound of like not tearing, but it is like my little shorts, my little bright colored shorts, I don't think cream or beige, like peeling themselves off. They peel off not the paint, but they peel off the bench. And so it was like, that bench is fucking defo wet. And everyone, there was no stains or anything, everyone was okay, but it was not 100% dry yet. And James was right the whole time. We chose to ignore him. Sorry, James. Alright. One time on Tinder, this really attractive lady, she said, "Are you GOAT? GOAT? Question mark." And I was new to Tinder. Or maybe that's not true, but I was actively searching at that time for something to divulge all my time and funds to. And divulge is not the right word, but she sent me that message. "Are you GOAT? Question mark." And I was like, did she fuck up? uh, do you like goats? Is that what she was trying to say? What she asked me if I like goats. So I sent her a text back. I said, no, I think they're smelly. And she never texted back. Um, Now, apparently, this is super cringy on her half, right? Um, and therefore, hopefully, it helped them grow as a person from that interaction that we had together. I do hope that they do grow as a person and stop asking people if they are the greatest of all time on Tinder. I suppose if you're confident in your skills, you could say, I'm quite good or something like that. But if you're the greatest of all time, you know Casanova, you know? And the only thing I remember from Casanova, my mom watched it with me when I was younger. Bad choice, mom, because the only thing I remember from that movie is he ate a lot of women out, and it was in like I don't know, I'm going to say like 15th century or something, France. So like, no one was shaving. Everyone doesn't wash down there. That guy he was something. And his words of wisdom, which I won't forget to this day, right? Like one of the guys like, oh my God, how'd you do it? Yeah, how are you the greatest, how are you the goat of France in this period of time? And he was just like, dude, you gotta learn to eat certain things. And then you've got to learn to love to eat certain things. And now that's totally misquoting him, all right? But I was like 15. For some reason, my mom put this thing on. I think it was like a PG, but everyone knew what it was about, and I took that to heart. Yeah, there's a lot to learn for me at least. But I'm getting better, so that's nice. All right, next topic. I found a bag at the park. I spent a lot of time in this park, by the way. And I went down to the park a few days ago to enjoy myself. And I got there a little bit early than my homies, and I went to sit on like the usual bench. There's a couple benches that I quite enjoy in this park, but there's one that I've grown attached to. Now this park's not very big, but it has everything I want. I mean, the bench that I like is unfortunately facing the pool of the Radland Sports Center. So there's like a huge glass wall with just half naked people swimming. That's not why I like that bench. That's a very common misconception of why I like that bench. My eyesight's so bad, I can't really make out hot half naked swimming people. All right, it's not the point of the park, of the bench at least. Anyway, I got so sidetracked here. I get there early, right? I'm like, fuck, I'm like 20 minutes early to this gang meetup. And I'm like, what am I going to do? So I thought, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to make myself comfortable. I'm going to listen to my podcast. I'm going to really relax, right? I got a problem with relaxing. I also got a problem with thinking back on actions and stuff like that, and understanding how what I do or say affects other people. If I think about it too much, I overthink it. So I just don't think about it at all. But I reckon that needs to change if I want to fit into the working environment. Anyway, I'm at this bench and I look around. There's a bit of stuff on the bottom of it, right? And I'm like, oh, some homeless guy has decided that this bench is where he wants to hang out, so he's just gonna put all his stuff here, which made me think, oh shit, I'll just go find another bench, you know. But I was like, this is my bench, so, and all the stuff is behind the bench and underneath it. So I'm like, all right, yeah. So sit down, get comfortable, and I look around, look behind me. I'm like, I don't want this mess here. Like, if it's someone's stuff, if it's like a blanket or something like that, I'll leave it. It's no stress. Like, I don't mind. If the guy needs to put his stuff down, whatever, that's fine. But I realized it's a bag, and it's been like torn open and rooted through, and there was this little white rabbit and a couple other things on the floor, and I was like, this doesn't look like, Greg the homeless guy, his stash or anything like that, or blankets or anything. It was just like, it was kids' clothes. And I was like, this isn't, this is someone who's literally stolen this and rooted through their shit and then like dumped the rest of it in the park. So I was like, oh, this is shit. So I put everything back in the bag, and I thought I'd drop the bag off at the library, right? And say, hey, listen, there's like a lost bag or something. And then luckily on one of the last things that I picked up, right underneath the bench, was this little card. And it was like a luggage tag with, like a name and a phone number on it. And I was like, holy shit, like, if this has been stolen, I could give it back to them. So I phoned the number, no one picked up. I got a voice message, and it was the dude's mom. She was like, yo, what up? Drop a little voicemail. I was like, hey, I'm Ben. You don't know me, but I've found this bag in the park, and I'm going to go drop it off at the university library. It's just nearby. You can pick it up from there whenever, no stress. And then I hang up, and I packed, all the bags packed already. And my friends got there, and we enjoyed our time in the park. And I went to go. Well, actually, oh, I just jumped. Okay, I'm going to back this bitch up. All right, back this back. All right, so I packed the bag. I still like 10 minutes for my homies get there. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to discover what the hell is going on. So I sent her a voice message, sent her a text as well. Just been like, hey, I'm the guy with the bag. Just wanted to say, found it in the park, whatever. But it's no stress, I'm dropping it off. I then walk over to Ravlin, right? I'm like, guys, I found this bag here. Like, do you guys have lost and found? And they were like, or not even lost and found. I actually went and I asked them if they have this guy's name as if they belonged to the park, like the gym. So my plan was, someone stole it from the gym, ran over onto the bench and rooted through it and ran away. And they were like, no. And I was like, do you guys have like a lost property or anything? And they were like, no. And I was like, okay. So I took it down to the library, and I was really surprised because they would not take it either. Even though it was in the park and on like university grounds, it wasn't something that they wanted to take responsibility for. And it was the classic like, fuck you, it's someone else's responsibility kind of thing, and I was like, that's not very connoisseur of you, I don't know what the right word is for that, but they were just saying like, we can't take it because then the library kids will get upset, and the library kids, they run the building and stuff. And I was just like, it's a lost bag. Basically, I've reported it, said I'll drop it off at the library, and now they're not taking it. And I'm like sitting there, I look like a fucking doofus, So I was like, oh, Jesus, what am I going to do? So I carried the bag back to the park bench, sat down and chilled out with some homies for a while. And halfway through that, I get a call. And I pick it up. I'm like, it's Ben speaking, and it's this lady, and she's like, hey, listen, like, the bag was stolen this morning. Would you mind dropping it off at the police station? And I was like, yeah, no worries. And then she asked me, hey, is there a little white rabbit in there? And I was like, yeah, the rabbit's in there. I packed him in his safe. And she was like, oh, thank God. Like, we've had this little rabbit since this little kid's born or whatever. And I was like, well, thank God the guy didn't have a thing for white rabbits, otherwise they'd be gone, sick perverts out there. So she's like, hey, listen, like, I can't pick it up, whatever. Would you mind dropping off at the police station? And I was like, yeah, no worries. And after our little session, I gave it a few minutes and then ran over to my local police station. Now, yeah, I did smell like weed, but I chose to take this path. I chose to take the path of the good citizen, with the acknowledgements that I was also, the guy could be like, what's that? And then he just bashed me on the head with a baton. But I was hanging out with some guys, and so it was very smelly, and I was conscious of that. And I walked in there, and I thought, if I get arrested, I'm never doing another good thing for the rest of. This will be a turning point in my life. I will never do another good thing for another human being, right? That was my prerogative walking into this police station, and I get there, and it's closed, and I'm like, oh, it is. He's like 8:15 in the evening, and the police station's closed. It says, come back at 8 in the morning or 9 in the morning or something. And I'm like, if I'm being shot, right, in South Africa, I had this mindset. If I'm being shot, I run to the police station, right? In the UK, I had the mindset, if I'm being shot, I run to the police station. And here I see, it must have, this has got to be due to like American movies or something, but the police stations are always open in American movies. Every single goddamn police station is 24 hours. You got like some fat cop that's eating donuts at 3 in the morning, and that's fine. As long as you have somewhere to run. If you're getting shot at, for the love of God, in the UK, I'm being shot at, I run to the police station, and then I gotta like wait until 9. They're gonna just see a dead body out there at fucking 9 when they walk in. And that is the most useless bullshit I've ever seen in my entire life. And then it got me thinking about the public sector and how underfunded we are if we can't have a 24-hour police station, and yada, yada, yada. That was a huge thing for weeks, sitting there complaining about the public sector. No one can give me a quick fix, which is very unfortunate for that. I don't know what the hell is going on, but if you don't have a 24-hour police station, then you don't have shit. And we don't have shit in this country. So, maybe I should do something about that. If you don't like it, you can just get out. Alright, well, fuck you, redneck. I will stay. But at the same time, I want there to be a 24-hour police station. I don't mind paying more taxes if that's what I need to do to make that happen. Anyway, now I've definitely rambled. But that was closed. I did Google Maps all the local ones I could find. I'm broke, so I can't even get like an Uber. There's one 24-hour one, like 3 hours away, and I'm walking, and I'm like, no. So I sent this lady a text, like, hey, listen, I'm gonna keep the bag for tonight. I'm dropping it off tomorrow morning. And she was like, okay. Well, what was she gonna say? Like, I've literally got I got the bunny, and I got the bag, I got the held ransom. So, so I took it home, and the next day I went back to my police station, and then I realized that the local one I was trying to get into anyway was a no public entry one. So it was kind of like, yeah, the police will live there and they'll answer the phone and shit like that, but they're not gonna actually let anyone come in. It's not like a public place. So I'm like, okay, so I've definitely got the raw end of the deal when it comes to police things, And I even ran over to the one near the station. They were like, oh, this is the Met. We don't take lost property. And I'm like, what the hell? So, well, they didn't say that. I got there and they were like, this is the police station for the trains. And I was like, okay. And no one was there, so I just left. But they are 24/7. So perhaps they could have saved me if I phoned them. But instead, I stood outside. I picked up the free phone that they had attached to the wall. and I waited an hour and a half for some lady to put me through, and then eventually, right, I'm standing there, I feel like a tosser. I thought to myself, it's going to be a 5-minute thing. I'm going to get this bag and drop it off. And the next thing you know, it elevated into a lot more than that. And eventually, it's 2 nice police guys come around the corner. And I'm like, oh, hey guys, like, here's the criminal ID number thing, which the lady gave me. After, because they got the bag stolen out of their car when they were packing to go on holiday. And some crackhead took it and stole the iPad or whatever. We left everything else. So I gave them like the number, incident number, whatever, which means they knew exactly like who to give the bag to and everything like that, which is great. And then I just handed it over, and I remember saying, "There's no bombs," because I packed it myself. I gave them a rough briefing of my encounter with the bag. But they just laughed at that, and I didn't think there was anything, too sinister about that. I thought maybe they might open it to check it, but they didn't. So, very trusting police officers, very trusting public, But I don't know if that overall experience makes me want to hand in another bag at the park. Kind of makes me think how society is at the moment, or how Portsmouth is at the moment. It's not accommodating for strange individuals dropping off stolen goods. It does not accommodate for that at all. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe they don't want stolen individuals or strange individuals dropping off stolen goods. I can imagine the paperwork would be quite a lot, But standing outside a police station at like 8:30 at night, holding on to the free phone just to be told that no one's gonna be able to help you, made me feel like this is not the policing service that I would like in a functioning society. And maybe we're not living in a functioning society. Or maybe I expect too much, I was thinking, like, even just get crackheads in, just to do all the paperwork overnight, whatever. Just get, like, someone in the police station so that when I'm being shot at, I can run in there and be like, yo, dude, I'm being shot at. And he's going to be like, all right, you sit there in the waiting room. Maybe they had too many people doing that, too many schizos coming in there being like, oh, they're after me. And then they just stay there for like 3 weeks. So eventually they shut it down. Fucking schizos. Now we can't have anything nice. That's a joke, by the way. Nothing bad on schizos. But you can't see my face, so you can't really tell my facial expressions. Anyway, that story was a bit gloom and doom. Alright, delete that one. That's done. Boop. ADHD meds. Oh, fudge, just delete too much. How they're doing and what's going on with the backlash. Well, I need to have my my blood pressure and my weight for this guy on Monday morning, and I don't have it, so that shows that not much has changed. But when I take my little ADHD meds, I feel a sense of motivation that I don't feel when I'm not on them. And they also hurt my stomach, which is great. It's always give and take. It's never just give, right? It's how life works. But I sit there and I'm so engrossed in whatever it is I'm doing that I can do that without interacting with anyone else. I can do that without talking. And that's new, But at the same time, what I choose to focus on is still an issue, Like, I remember there was a day where I had an interview at 11 o'clock, but I hit the ground running from 8:30, and we didn't sit down, and we were just constantly doing something the entire day. We didn't check our emails. I didn't check my goddamn calendar, and I missed the interview. Thank God my homie got it. It might have something to do with the fact that I emailed the guy and said, "Hey, hire this guy. He's a really good guy." But we'll see. I'm holding that over Jack for the rest of his life until he gets another job. I don't think the guys took my advice too hard, but he's got a job, and that's the most important thing. Yeah, I was just so distracted, so motivated to just do shit. I love just sinking my teeth into something. I could autistically sit there and wire individual computers, like completely recable them and shit like that for the entire day, without lunch, without anything, just working. And I pump my beats and I can just go for it, And I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing. I think employers would sit there and be like, "Fuck yeah, this guy's doing it," But not taking lunch, that might also be because I'm broke. There's a lot of issues at the moment. Like, they want to see my weight, and the idea is they want to compare that to the weight I gave them before and be like, all right, is this guy's appetite going? Like, what's the issues here? But what they're not factoring in is the fact that I'm fucking broke and I can't afford breakfast. I can't afford lunch. I can't afford anything. And so I don't eat, and therefore I don't take the meds because I know that it has a knock-on effect. And I know I'm swearing and I'm a bit aggressive here, but that's real life, right? Real life is getting in the way of this perfect idea that adding meds into my life and then monitoring the outcome would give you a good idea of how the meds are affecting me. But you can't do that if you've got a guy that's less than baseline. And unfortunately, baseline for me is quite all over the shop right now, at least. I've got $700 in my account right now, and the only thing that's stopping me from going into that is self-control. And I'm quite amazed that I've still got it. It's been like 2 weeks, and I've been so fucking sad. I'm such a good little consumerist worm. What makes me happy? Going into Tesco, buying something. Going somewhere else, buying something. Oh, just buying junk food. That makes me happy. That is my continue mechanism, or whatever it is. My little, just eating, and being hands down unable to do that. Fucking hell, I was thinking about jumping off the fucking roof, head diving in the street, and I'm like, I know that I feel like this, and I know why I feel like this, and that is not, like, just realizing that it's a small part of life. It's not, like, when you feel that way, you often feel like there's no alternatives. And that's just your brain hyper focusing on one thing, like, oh no, it's this or get out or whatever. Like, that's the two options. But there's always more options. And I went through that. And why is today different? Why is today different than yesterday? I don't know, but I know that I've been productive today, ever so slightly productive. I know that I've done energy drinks today. I know that I have caffeine in my blood, which is great. Thanks, caffeine. And I know I spent the day with good people. And I know this morning I just slept. Instead of being constructive, I just slept. And so even this morning, I didn't feel bad, but I wasn't up and at it, you know? And it's very interesting. It's very interesting how my mood is just all over the shop when I'm dealing with a lot of big changes and stuff like that. But I think that's very similar for a lot of people, you know? You take away the pleasures of life, and they're gonna get fucking sad. That's just that's it. But I'm looking forward to tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the week, and I think I've finally jumped the hump that has been on my ass for months. I haven't done anything yet. I have yet to be constructive for tomorrow, but I look forward to the challenge. I look forward to tomorrow. I look forward to new things. And I think that's kind of glad there's no camera at the moment, because I would have broken into tears already just looking at my little face. But there's just so much self-pity going on in my life that I've yet to get up and make the changes that I wanted to do. So the ADHD meds, they help me. They provide a service, you know. And I think that that's the key. You know, you give me a day's worth of work, I'll take my ADHD meds, and that shit's done. That's what I'm looking forward to. I have noticed some side effects though, like one of my work colleagues would be very chatty. When I'm on the tablets, I don't chat as much, and he told me that, you know, like, he told me that he brought that to my attention, and I didn't see that as a bad thing, because I'm always talking. So I see the idea of not talking almost like a superpower. All right, if you can just shut the hell up, then you've got a superpower. So yeah, but yeah, I feel almost frustrated when people interrupt me or something like that, and oh my god, like there was an event where I had to do something I didn't want to do, like it was taking me away from my job, and I remember just getting pissed off, and I'm sitting there and I'm upset that I have to go and do something else instead of this work that I absolutely want to do. You know, I have to do something else, and I realized that is the real life. Like, that is, I can't stick to this. I can't stay mad because there's distractions in my day, because that's not real life. And how am I going to cope in the real world with, you know, being angry that someone's asked me to do something, or, you know, when I want to do this, you know, when I want to just rip and tear. Now, rip and tear is a Doom reference. The idea is just sink your teeth into something, just rip and tear, you know, just fully. I don't know how to describe it. In Doom, in the game Doom 2016, and it's Entourage, the one, I don't know what the second one's called. You are this monster machine, and your entire purpose is to destroy the hordes of hell, right? So you just like chainsawing these little demons, and you don't have to feel bad about a demon being murdered. Blow the other guy's head off with double barrel, you know, just rip and tear, just fight your way through these hordes and hordes and hordes, and just sitting there and you got this work and you just take the meds and just hitting it. Like, there's nothing better in this world than being productive. There's nothing better than being a little robot just tapping away or doing whatever you need to do, moving PCs, installing them, whatever, just being constantly getting that little stream of, I don't know what word I'm looking for, dopamine. Like, the dopamine for me hits really interestingly. Wait, it can't be dopamine. There's a couple other chemicals that I'm not too sure of. It's definitely a feel-good chemical. And, yeah, like, I like that it can put me in the mood to get shit done. I like the fact that my ADHD meds can do that. How that factors into the real world might be a different story. How I deal with interruptions, how I deal with not being able to work when I want to work, that's what real life's all about. And that's about accommodating and being patient and all that kind of stuff. So that's one of the things that I've got to try and understand more and be more accepting of, I'm not, in the beginning I did say I'm not very good at retrospectives of stuff, but these are things that I've written down. I think I'm being quite whatever the word is on these. But this isn't good enough, because this is only stuff, well, this is talking points, right? But I think I'm mostly retrospective of things I do. I don't know. I don't know how to put it into words, but I don't think about stuff that I don't think is important, and therefore I don't think about things that would be beneficial to think about, that's for sure. Too busy think about aliens. Anyway, oh my god. I'm gonna skip that topic. I think I've covered everything. Just, I think I had to describe it a lot. I think how I described Doom was very violent, but if you've never been in that power fantasy, it's really hard to describe it. What am I going to say? Oh, it's like, I was going to say like something about a Ukrainian tank general, and you just put a round through the wall and you save people or something like that, But that's like it's not good to compare productivity with war. That is never a good comparison. You can throw that comparison in the bin, Definitely been talking too much shit. All right. We've been cleaning out cupboards at work, and we've gathered quite the collection of USBs. And I remember having like absolutely pockets full of USBs, and we run over to Greg's, right? This is the money spending period where we were going to go grab some lunch, and I'm whipping out my wallet at Greg's to pay for this chicken bake or whatever it is. And like a USB falls into the floor. And I just thought it was funny, because wherever I'm going, there's a chance the USB is going to fall out. It's just hilarious. Anyway, I think it was more of a you got to be there situation, but basically I was paying for something at Greg's and USBs fall on the floor, and I looked like some sort of wacky USB kid, and I didn't have too much of a problem with that, although that is how you get like attacked, or it's like a phishing scam where you put a whole bunch of things like freekittenpicture.exe on, you put a reverse shell or something like that on a USB, and then you drop it off in the bank car park or something like that, and then it's up to the employee not to plug it in and run that exe, but that's where you have training and stuff. Anyway, it's just a whole different situation, so I'm gonna get rid of that one. Oh Jesus. I went on a trip on the train, and I remember having a runny nose, and my eyes were shot, and I was like, "Oh shit, hay fever season." And I look around, and there's no there's no water or bathrooms or anything nearby, and I'm desperate to take this antihistamine pill, right? And like this isn't the first time I've had to take pills dry. I remember once like being so desperate to take. I was on pain meds and my tooth was going crazy, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, my God, if I accumulate enough like spit in my mouth, I might be able to swallow it with the spit. And I remember trying my best to do that, walking home in so much pain that like I couldn't even think straight. Anyway, this is not that story. This is another story. But I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm gonna try and take this dry, right? I put this in antihistamine, which is just I think it's the right word for it. It's an anti reaction to. God damn it! I'm just gonna shut the hell up, right? If you don't know what an antihistamine is, you Google it, right? You goddamn delinquent. Anyway, which is great because I'm also the delinquent in this situation. So don't feel offended by that if you don't know what antihistamine is. Anti-hay fever tablet, that's what it is. So I'm getting this hay fever, right? I'm feeling it, and I know it's just a start. And I'm about to get on the train for like a 2-hour journey or some shit. I don't need an antihistamine not kicking in right now. Goddamn, I don't need hay fever kicking in right now, so I want to take this tablet. So I put it in my mouth, and it's got like a thin coating on it. It's like a little powder tablet, right? I put it in my mouth, I try and swallow. It's just powdery, and it's not going anywhere, right? I'm like, dude, you've gotta like. I know guys that can swallow tablets dry. I think I know like at least 3 people in my life that can do tablets dry. I thought it was at one point. I thought it was my friend Omar did it, right? Now, Omar is from a place where I judged the idea of having access to drinking water 24/7 as not being a thing. I might have to double check that with him. Sorry, Omar, if I'm throwing you in the deep end here. And so this man can take tablets without water, right? That's the majority. The idea was that he can take tablets without water, and he probably had to learn how to do that just the old-fashioned way, And I'm sitting here and I'm like, I can if Omar can do it, I can do it. That's what I truly think to myself. So I put this tablet in. It's not going anywhere. I lie to myself and say if I fake chew the tablet, if I pretend to eat the tablet, and then I can swallow the chewed up mess that's after, like that's how my brain works. I put the sandwich in, I chew, and then I swallow. So if I put the pill in, I keep it to the side, I pretend to chew it, and then I swallow, it should work, right? I put the pill to the side, I pretend to chew, I can't swallow. I then take the pill out of, like, I put it, like, right at the top. You can, like, jiggle things around my mouth, and you can't jiggle things around you get that out of your head. Disgusting. You can jiggle things around your own mouth, right? Now you take the tablet and you jiggle it around so it's like above your teeth on the left or the right side, and it's being held there by the lip, right? And so I unjiggle it, but the taste of the tablet is because it's like coated with like a thin layer of powder, and that powder is now gone. So I'm just getting absolute disgusting flavor of this thing in my mouth, and I'm just like, oh Jesus, I need to swallow this soon, otherwise the whole thing is just gonna be like dissolved in my mouth. So I take the L and I try and fake chew it again, but this time I just really chew it. And this entire, like the taste of this thing is disgusting. I then chew it up so it explodes all over my back teeth and all over my mouth. And there's just powder and it is just revolting. But I can swallow what's left. So I swallow like chunks of this disgusting tablet. And it doesn't even have a flavor to it. It's like chewing chalk. If you could chew chalk, you could probably chew this no stress. Like there's literally no difference. But to me, the flavor was disgusting. Or it was just it wasn't disgusting. It was tasteless and not coated in sugar. Therefore, it was to me and my taste buds disgusting. All right. And that was a horrible experience. And I wanted to share that with you. And that was chewing an antihistamine at the train station. That was the title of my talking point. Oh, I just hit spacebar instead of delete. Dude. Matthew, I'm throwing you under the bus here with this one, man. Alright. We went to, oh Jesus, where did we go? Holy shit. We went to, oh my God. We went to one of the Greek islands, right? Which is quite a fancy place to be anyway. But when we got there, wait, where the hell was this place? Is it Athens? No, wait, I don't even know anymore. Oh, well, this, oh my God, better, okay, so I'm just gonna say we went to Greece, right? We went to Greece, my little brother, you know, and the little guy was so impressed with what he saw. Because to him, he expected, like, what he expected of Greece was what he expected of developing parts of India. So he was like, dude, they got water, they got toilets, like everyone's got a scooter. It's like no big deal. And I just thought that was hilarious, man. And that's the kind of things that you realize when you go traveling and you explore. And I think one of the biggest things I keep talking about, well, I don't talk about it a lot, but if you got a group of dudes that have never left their country, if they've been born in Eastbourne and they die in Eastbourne and they've never experienced anything out of Eastbourne, that guy's going to be, you know, I'm not saying he's going to be not smart, but I'm saying he's not going to have experience all over the world. Like maybe, yeah, he could read and stuff like that, but I think one of the things that cure racism is to just meet people. And, you know, I think that's done better if you can do it in their land. Now, the quote there that immediately came to mind is "their land, their blood," which is Call of Duty. I don't remember which Call of Duty thing it is, but it's where you play as the Russians and you're on the German land. And, you know, it's their land, it's their blood, and you're just murdering everyone. Why is it always vicious? Why is there always murder? That is how my brain goes. No, that's not my brain. Don't you put that on my brain. That is just the video games that I interact with. And I think that people can't be racist if they've been out of their shell, out of their bubble, and they've seen what life is like in other places, right? I think it's equivalent. I mean, the idea is if you take someone that's grown up in the UK, and hasn't seen heavy levels of poverty, right? And you take them somewhere where there is heavy levels of poverty, and they can see that, it'll change their perspective on, you know, what they consider important and what they consider not important. I think it opens people's minds to different experiences, and I think that allows the mindset of racism to take a backseat. And therefore, I think we should send every racist in the world on a tour bus all around Europe, all right, or all around wherever they can, and they need to get out there and they need to see some shit, all right? Take that, racists. Go and see some shit. But that wasn't the point. And I'm not saying everyone is, oh my God, now it sounds like my little brother's a racist. I'm not saying he's a racist. Oh my God. What the hell? I'm like having an argument with my own self in my own head here. But yeah, traveling, you can't, I suppose you can be racist and travel, and I've seen the world, but I like the idea that you can't, because you realize that everyone all over the world is the same. They're all human beings. And, you know, oh, now that brings a song to my mind. You know, I recently got into punk music. That was a big mistake, but You can't see the smile on my face. That should drag me through the dirt. That's for sure. Punk music's badass, right? Not for everyone, but again, quoting my song, punk rock chooses you. That's how it works. So, anyway, I'm not gonna talk about punk rock right now. Although I would recommend Johnny Hobo and the Freight Trains. Whiskey is My Lullaby, and you check that out. And if make sure you find a video of them singing it shirtless in this like dormitory, because that was my first experience with punk rock. Being sad and on the internet and looking at dodgy shit on 4chan, and then coming across a music thread, and then seeing these shirtless dudes screaming at the top of their lungs like absolute alley cats, right? Don't get this mistaken. This isn't good music. This is far from good music. This is emotional music, and emotional music serves a different barrel of fish. Holy fuck! It's been an hour and a minute, and I just feel like I've talked hella shit, and I feel like I've contradicted myself, and I feel like this isn't what I wanted it to be. But at the same time, it is getting the points across, and hopefully it's not too deranged. But then again, if you came here and you clicked on this video and you expected something that wasn't deranged, my God, you yourself are crazy. This is not a sane place for sane people. I am struggling with trying to be normal, so this is not a normal place. I hope that you understand that coming into this now. But I don't think you'd be here if you didn't understand that. Also, shout out to Anik. I love you, Anik. And dude, I appreciate you, and I really enjoyed our trip, man. And I think you know that. And you've now started my love for airsoft. So we'll see how that goes. But I went airsofting. The last time I went airsofting, dude, I was just so unfit, dude. My little boots were so caked in mud. I couldn't run very fast, and I don't know, man. But towards the end, I was handed the Big Boy mag, right? Now, the Big Boy magazine can have like a whole lot of BBs instead of just, I think the normal. I went from like 250 BBs or something like 300 BBs to like 600, and I was like, or 800 or something like that. And I was like, this is perfect. Like, I don't have to do nothing. I just keep pulling the trigger, and the BBs keep flying. And this was the last game, and so all I had to do was pull the trigger. I pulled the trigger in a general direction. You know, I didn't even worry if I hit them or not. Like, I was just enjoying having that huge, stocky magazine as a handle. Because later on in our experience, I traded the gun with the handle to James because he had this gun that was so heavy. And it didn't have a goddamn front handle. So he's running around. His arms like mush. So I was like, I'll take it. I regretted that big time. But the huge magazine became my handle. And that worked out for me. Oh, I also remember seeing a guy with a PKM. Is it a PKM? I think so. It was it was like a bolt-fed BB machine gun. Now, the guy said that if he's gonna fire it, he can't fire more than like a second on the trigger or an out. But this guy is capable of probably like holding down the trigger for like 45 minutes and just having BBs fly across the map, you know. And that's the power that he deserved to wield. They held him back, but. You know, that was an experience. He even let me touch it and shit at the end, so that was nice of him. Probably because I nerded out when I saw him with it. A lot of guys like that. You spend £1,000 on your gun. You don't want someone to take notice. All right. Oh shit! I remember this. This is bad. All right. I didn't plan very well, right? So I had work shifts, and I also had a study session. And the exam was on Monday. This is like, I think it's like Sunday. No. I don't remember the dates, right? I'm going to go with the Wednesday. Exams on Wednesday. This is Tuesday evening, right? I had a study session in the morning. I then spoke to the guys, and they all agreed, yeah, let's do it. 7 o'clock, whatever, or 6 o'clock in the evening. We're going to meet up at one of the university rooms, and we're just going to study the shit out of this thing. Like we're going to group study. Group study is where it's at for me. I think being in a social environment, knitting the questions, writing down things that I don't understand, that's how I learn, and that works well for study sessions for me. So I was really wanting to pull off the study session with some homies, and I eventually got a few guys together that wanted to do it. And I remember arriving early because I felt like I was the class rep, and I felt like it was my responsibility to find a decent place where we could all sit down and work together, and study. So the idea was I'd get somewhere early. I got there about 20 minutes early at one of the buildings, right? I was running around Portland trying to find a free room. Every single goddamn room, every single one, right? Like, keep in mind, it is study session for everyone. So everyone's studying, right? But every single room had one kid in it or more. Just one kid. And I have a group of like maybe 4 or 5 guys that are going to sit down, be willing to do the work, I knew that they were going to be there soon, and I had yet to find a free spot. And I remember opening up this room being like, yes. As I'm opening the door, I'm scanning the room, and I'm seeing no one. And then as I open the door to its full extent, there's one guy in the very far right-hand corner just sitting there. And I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I just like smile, wave at him, turn around, leave, right? Classic. Just open the door, make eye contact with the guy that's there, leave. That's just what I've been doing. And I'm getting desperate now. And I'm thinking, oh my God, if I go to Richmond, there is a huge theater on the far side of the building. No one goes there, right? And I remember being so stressed out about not having this study session room organized. I tried to go earlier that day to get it booked out, but it was a public holiday. So normally what I do is I take some biscuits. It's not required. It's just because I'm nice. And I go and bribe the ladies at the booking place to book me a room. And I say, we're going to do some studies in there. And then they're like, all right, cool. Here you go. This room's free. And I'm like, oh, awesome. And then I run back and I tell the guys, and they're like, oh, Ben organized the room. Good job. So that morning I get there and it's closed. And I realize it's a public holiday. It's all going to be closed. So I was like, we'll just worry about it when the time comes. So I get there 20 minutes early trying to secure a room. I can't find shit. I changed buildings. It's already like, I think the ETA was 6. It is already 6. It is 6, and my back is drenched. I've got this issue where if I freak out, I don't want to call it anxiety, but I just break into sweat. And I break into sweat because I'm fat and I don't fucking do shit. And I gotta go to the gym. That's like the number one thing I want to change in my life, but I haven't changed. And I say that, but I don't want to go to the gym. I do, but Anyway, that's another story. Don't you worry about that. But I'm late for this place. I feel like I'm letting my team down and my whole goddamn gang down, right? I'm the class rep and I can't find a goddamn room for us to study in. And so I run off into this this really far back lecture theater, and I'm like, dude, no one's gonna be here. How cool would it be if we put it on the big screen and we're busy studying like networking on the big screen, and a bus opened the door. I see two kids right at the front. I'm immediately fucked, right? But I'm desperate. So I'm like, hey guys, are you using the big screen? They just right at the back. I mean, sorry. So they're at the front of where the door is, but the door's at the back of the class, right? So I look down. It's just two kids in the corner of the room, sitting there on laptops, and the whole room. It's like I can seat like 300 people, and it's all empty. And I'm desperate, and I'm like, yo, homies, do you? Well, I didn't say that, but I was just like, guys, do you mind if we study in here? And I realized that there's no way I can keep this group quiet. I know who these guys are, right? These guys that come studying, we talk shit for an hour and then we study for 30 minutes. That's how it is, right? That's how it rolls. And when we study, we are loud, we are obnoxious, but that's how it is. You gotta study, that's how it is. So I immediately, while I'm asking them this, I know for a fact I can't come in here unless they're willing to leave. But I'm like, hey, do you guys mind if we come to study here, you know? And then I tell them, like, I'm gonna try and see if I can find another room. But if we're back here, they say, yeah, don't worry about it, you can come study here. And I'm like, I'm so thankful for them to be so accommodating. But at the same time, I know that I basically asked them, hey, can I go blow up? And why am I using violence again? I've been listening to a lot of podcasts, and these podcasts are like warping my mind, all from Vietnam, just the horrors of war, and also being a frogman. Frogman. Oh man, Frogman's a badass. It made me want to do the basic underwater demolition. Oh fuck, I don't know what it is. Buds training, Hell Week. I think I could get through Hell Week on sheer dumb motivation or just my optimism. I think my optimism would be beneficial if I could muscle the willpower to do the physical, which I can't do. I'll break into sweat just walking to Buds. But the good news is sweat is fat crying. And hopefully my body will remember that one day and it'll just stop being a little bitch. Because at the moment he's a little bitch. And he'll break into sweat if I walk into an interview room. So he needs to just calm the fuck down. Anyway, I'm really sidetracked now, but I couldn't find a room. These kids are trying to be nice, and I was like, there's no way in hell I'm going to try and... Because we're going to be so noisy, these kids are going to get offended and they're going to have to leave or some shit. So I'm like, all right, I don't want to do that. So I'm like, hey guys, I'm going to keep looking for another room. But if I can't find one, we'll be back, all right? So just, you know, I'll see you later. And they were like, all right, cool. And I leave. And I head up to the ITH desk. Oh, shit. When I'm in Portland bowling, I'm so desperate. I meet my friend Ollie. I'm like, dude, have you seen any spare rooms? And he's like, oh, good luck, bro. And this dude, he did such a solid. He ran around for like 20 minutes trying to find a goddamn room. But the problem is he looked at all the rooms I'd already looked at. There was nothing. And then he sent me a little text. He's like, oh, dude, there's one over here, you know, blah, blah, blah. But I only got that later on. Anyway, thanks, Ollie. Sorry, man. But I head over to the desk at Richmond, ITH desk. And little Kiko is there. And I'm like, hey, man, I'm trying to find a place to study. And I look around, and he's like, the place is filled up. And basically what happened was the library got shut down, right? So everyone was in Portland and Richmond and Park, and all the satellite buildings were filled up now because the main place for people to study got shut down because the power went out. Fucking, what was it? So, it was something, I think someone had drilled something, whatever, and basically there was power issues, okay? And they hadn't put the generators on yet, so the whole building was shut down. So, kind of kids studying in the dark. And I knew that there was a place that we could go. There was a business room, right? This is a public holiday, so ain't no university staff going to be going to do business in this room. So I knew for a fact it was open. But I also knew that I didn't have my key card to get in there. So I run around, I can't find any rooms, right? The homies are already like at Portland. I get the text message on WhatsApp. Boom, we're at Portland. We're, like looking for a room. I'm like, guys, I'm in Richmond. I'm on a lead, like head over to Richmond, this building, business sector, we'll make a plan. I then run downstairs this is like the third floor. I'm back on the second floor. I run over to go and see Kiko. I'm like, dude, can I borrow your ID? I want to get into this cupboard. And he's like, yeah, sure, man. He comes up with me. He boops me into the room. I check it. It's clear. It's a small room that's behind. It's the very corner of the place. It's a little corner office kind of, and it's got a door that only staff are allowed through. So he boops me in with his staff card. I'm in, right? I wedge the door open. I look around. Holy shit, we have a aircon. Like, it doesn't matter that we're not in a study hall or something like that. We've got AC. I flick that shit on, and then I immediately run downstairs to find the guys. I give them the room number, and then they come and join me in that room, right? The first thing they did when they sat down, well, after they checked out the room, because they had really cool little chairs. Everyone was saying it looked like Google chairs. So if you ever wanted to be a little programmer at Google, and you have a little chair with a little desk part attached to it, that's what it was. I don't know if Google used that anymore. Google removed the thing that says, don't be evil. I don't even know if that's a rumor, but apparently they removed that. And that's all I need to know about them. Google are dirtbags, and you should know that. And if you don't know that by now, do not trust them with everything, because they are dirtbags, and they will fuck you over the first chance they get. Because that's what they did to the university. So that's how I know. Anyway, moral of the story is, we get in there, and then these guys pop out alcohol, because they came prepared, man. And I'm sitting there like, I should have expected this. But I've now got them in a business class, basically a fancy room that people would go to for like meetings and stuff, or to impress outside companies, whatever. And here we are popping alcohol, got Coronas and stuff. I'm sitting there, right, we start the study session. And then I get a missed call about halfway through the study session from Kiko. So I'm like, all right. And I'm like, I know he's downstairs. I'll just go check it out. So I walk downstairs, and Kiko's gone. He's not on the desk anymore. And we've only halfway through studying like these questions that were created. Thanks to particular individuals who created the question format. Those individuals didn't respond to me once I left university, so they will not be highlighted in this, but I did find a road with his name on it, and he refused to comment on that. So, much like China and the poor little Uyghurs, no comment is not good. So, that I'm butthurt about that. All right, just letting you know, Brandon, I'm butthurt about it. But I spoke to you about that, and I appreciate you, dude. You go do you, all right? There's no problem with that. Anyway, what was I talking about? We're in this room. I go downstairs. Kiko's not there, but guess who I see, right? I see the coolest ITH. I see Jack. Jack sitting there. I'm like, Jack, who's on the desk, right? He looks at me. He says, you are. I say, what? I look at my thing. I'm fucking rotated to work. That same time I'm in my study session. I'm supposed to be getting shit done. I hadn't studied shit for this exam. This is like one of the first times sitting down studying for it. And it's the same time I'm supposed to be doing a shift. So I'm supposed to be on that desk in my uniform, just making sure little kids are happy. It's like 8 to midnight or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, this is not how I planned my evening to go down. I'm freaking out. I am pissed. Cause like, I don't even know what goes on with me, but when I try and organize something, if it's not perfect, I take it onto my shoulders, and like just finding the room, I was peed off, right? Now I'm sitting there, I'm trying to study, and now I realize I fucked up so bad at planning this shit properly, which is just classic. It's classic Ben. Like, and it's not even Ben. There's I don't want to say where it is, but I'm on meds for it, right? All right, and I'm like, oh God. So I log in. I log into the computer, right? It's late at night. There ain't no one there gonna be asking questions, right? If there is, they're gonna be needing print jobs or whatever. I'm like, all right. I log in. I open up Teams, which is our social media for what we use for work, and I write a little thing. I say, guys, emergency, free shift from now till midnight, Richmond. First come, first serve. Just get your butt down here. I hit send. I'm speaking to Jack. I'm telling him about how I fucked this up. Telling him about how stressed I was, and now I've got even more. And I let him know that I'm seething. Like, I don't know what I've done, but I'm just fucking so upset. I'm dropping F-bombs because I feel very emotional about this topic, and I don't know how else to describe it. So, I don't use adult words. I use common colloquials. Colloquials. I know that some particular smart person will be able to help me spell that in a Scrabble game, but right now it's not too important. I explain the situation and how unprepared I am for the shift, and he's just being Jack. He's being the coolest fucking kid. That F word was not for grammatical effect. That was just to describe how cool Jack was. Like, he's just fucking awesome, right? I don't want to talk him up too much in case he feels like that's something he has to live up to. That's what I worry about him. I've already told him about this, so it's fine. But yeah, as long as he's going at it, that's what I want him to do in life. I want him to keep going at it, never stop going at it. But anyway, no pressure, Jack. No pressure. But he comes upstairs. I'm like, dude, come upstairs with me. Let's explain this situation to the boys. You know, come up there, my little thing. I'm like, guys, you won't guess what happened. I have a shift on at the moment, right? I didn't plan for this shift, but I gotta go downstairs and I gotta do something about that. And by the way, here's my homie Jack, coolest ITH on the market. You know, market sounds like he's a prostitute. Coolest ITH in the service. There you go. Oh yeah, that's where it's at. Coolest ITH in the service. And he's like, hey guys, and he's just standing there. I'm talking shit. And then eventually I realized, like, well, one of the guys like, why don't you go downstairs and do the shift then, you know? And I realized that is Jack's on shift in Portland, and he came over to say hi, and I wasn't there, and he just sat there waiting, and then I appeared. So I was like, I don't want to leave Jack hanging, but at the same time, I don't want to leave my homies hanging. But then I realized, like, they all good, you know, they got everything's together, you know. So I run downstairs with Jack, and as I'm leaving, a security guard is walking in upstairs, like, and he's walking straight I know he's walking straight to that room. And I'm like, Christ, have they got like a noise complaint or something already? You know, but I don't have time to think. I got to go downstairs. I got to cancel this goddamn thing that's advertising my role for that night. So I run downstairs. I'm still freaking out, by the way. I run downstairs. I see the security guard. I fucked the story up because that happened when Kiko miscalled me. A security guard was running up there before I even saw Jack. I explained to Jack, holy shit, there's I'm down here trying to organize this mess. My homies are up there. They've got like alcohol. The security guard's gonna like march and file them, like, name, UP number, date of birth. That's it. You're being kicked out of the university. You're not even supposed to be in this room. And, they're sitting there taking full advantage. And I'm expecting that. I'm expecting to see them frog march down the stairs in handcuffs or whatever, because I'm not there to defend the use of the room. They just look like a couple of guys that have somehow found an unlocked door and have just taken advantage. And I'm not there to help with that. I'm not there to smooth over the situation. I'm not there to sweet talk the security guard. I'm downstairs with Jack dealing with another fuck up that I've done. And I go back upstairs and it's like, yeah, guys, don't worry about it. The security guard didn't do anything. He just came in and said hi and he left. And I was like, oh my God, like, you guys are so, like, we hit the alcohol. I was like, okay, good. But yeah, I ended up deleting the thing, the request for cover, and I sat down there and I worked that shift with Jack the entire goddamn shift. We were there until Jack started falling asleep at midnight, and then I made sure he got home. I don't know what I did. I think I walked into the library, but I just opened up. I was like, Jack, I love you, dude. I'm worried about this happening to you. He's like, don't worry. And I'm like, all right, cool, this, that, and this. I told him a bit of my backstory. He was like, oh. I was like, I've been dropping hints the whole time. But it's good that you finally know the pictures and stuff like that. Anyway, Jack, I appreciate you, dude. I appreciate a lot of the guys I work with, and a lot of the guys I hang out with. So, fuck. Well, I'm appreciating people. I gotta say, thanks to Aaron and Carol for hanging out with me. I appreciate that a lot. That was like a few days ago, you guys messaged me. I know you guys are moving now and stuff's all over the place, but I really appreciate the opportunity to hang out with you guys. Sorry for making everyone that I hang out with play Vampire Survivors. It's my current addiction. Little kids, you got forced to play Vampire Survivors as well. Little kids being my little brothers, but everyone's little kids to me. Even some of the adults are little kids, so I think there's some truth in that. I think there's also a lot of opportunity to be offended by that. Oh, fudge. Is it still recording or is it not recording? Oh, Jesus Christ, my phone just locked. It is still going, apparently, so there's no reason to worry. Alright. Anyway. Being late and then being on shift while security dude comes up in my study session without backup and drinking alcohol. That is what I wrote. Freaking out about study session. Alright, delete that one. Finding a sense of purpose. Well, that is something I've yet to achieve. I know right now my purpose is to get shit done for Wednesday. And then my purpose is emotional support. And on Monday, my purpose will be to do every goddamn thing that my new employers want me to do, and do it to the best of my ability, and just eat shit with a smile, because that is what I would like to have. Like to have a stable job, and that is going to be the case. So I'm going to leave finding a sense of purpose on this to-do list, or to-talk list. Perhaps that will come up in another situation. Alright. I'm going to tell you guys just one more. Well, I've got a couple. I got hilarious idea where you tell everyone your fridge is making strange noises, but you're getting used to it. And then one day showing them footage of your fridge and the sounds it makes while it's actually your neighbors having sexual relations through the thin walls. Now, oh my God, there's more. But that idea is going to be deleted because that idea isn't... It's more of a sketch, because I have really loud neighbors. And in fact, they were going at it while we were talking, but on the other side of the room, and I didn't want to mention it, so you know what? They are rabbit people. That is their spirit animal. And good on them, you know. This story has something similar in it, but it's about the time I chose to do one thing instead of another. Now, this is back in college, you know. I'm talking to a young lady that I met through high school. But I'm being cautious because I first met her sister, and her sister said she was crazy. Then I met her, and she said her sister was crazy. So I knew deep down inside that they were both fucking crazy, and that I should be worried about getting too involved in these individuals, with these individuals. But her sister was taken and she was single, and she liked to celebrate her birthday with vodka and alcohol. And being a single mom, she found time to make some time for me to come hang out, celebrate her birthday. So, you know, the thing is, we saw each other a few times, things were happening, and the big event comes. She says, "Hey, I'm free tonight, you know, do you want to stay around?" And I was like, yes. All right, this is like a Saturday or Sunday or something. I pack I get my best little outfit on, my nicest jeans, my nicest shirt, whatever, and I'm on the way out the front door, all right? And my little brother, he's like, "Hey, where you going?" I'm like, "I'm just going to go down to the shops," because the bus stop to get to her place was right next to Asda. And he's like, "Dude, can I come with you?" And I was like, "Yeah." It's like, "I'll walk you around Asda and then I'll send you on your way." And he's like, "Yeah, sure." So we get to Asda, you know, and I know I've got some time. So I walk my little brother around Asda. And I've got this, I think it was avoidance, but I've got the option to lose my virginity or hang out with my little brother in Asda. And I chose to hang out with my little brother in Asda in the beginning. And we're walking around, and I see this Nerf gun. It's a really cool one on the shelf. And I'm thinking, I'll spend all this money on vodka, on Monsters, on whatever else, you know, or I could buy a goddamn Nerf gun. So I'm checking that out in my mind, and I think, what's more fun, fucking or gaming? And I picked gaming. So I walked out of there with a PlayStation 3, a copy of Minecraft. My little brother had some friends come around that day, so they were going to have a great time. And I bought the Nerf gun for myself. And I said, "Hey, listen, something's come up. I'm going to have to babysit. I'm sorry." And I went home, and I had the best time I could have possibly had with my family. And yeah, that's how I bought a PlayStation. That was quite a crude story as well. She's very nice. She was very nice to me, but now I've just called her crazy, so it's not very nice, is it? But I think it's good to be honest. I have been taking my I've got this big kind of like a gym bag. It's a tog bag? I don't know what it is. I think it's a tog bag. It's very expensive. I bought it when I had money, and it's got pink on the inside. That's how you know it means business. And at one point, it had a little bit of mold on the inside too. So you know, it's been through it's seen some shit. And I got this big bag, and I'm packing all my clothes. So I'm going away for like trips to see family and stuff like that. And I went on this one trip. It happened a few times, but I've got this little container. It's got a little shaving kit. It's got toothbrush, floss, like all the little things you would need if you hairbrush. Like if you're going out, like it's like a little bathroom bag, right? I got a bathroom bag now. That makes me feel old, or at least responsible. Got this little bathroom bag, and I started taking the batteries out of my shaver because my bathroom bag would be shoved in the bottom of my actual bag, which would be full to the brim of clothes that I don't fold up. So they just get chucked in there. And when it's chucked in there, it pads out quite a lot, right? And I've got this little dog, this little pug face that sits on the back of the bag. And occasionally when I'm walking through the trains, it's so tight that I'll hold the bag up at an angle, and the dog will slap against the seats when I'm going past them. And so occasionally people will just hear barking coming from my bag, little dog bag, little dog thing at the bottom of my bag. And I think that that's funny. Also, how much of a serial killer can you be if you got a dog bag? I mean, God damn it. I am worried sometimes. Not worried, but I worry that I'm not approachable. You know, I worry that people might think that I'm scary or something like that. I'm quite a tall dude, you know. And so for a long time, I put effort into changing that. And I realize as well, like, my demeanor is one thing, but I am friendly if someone opens up to me, or, you know, someone's late for a bus and they make a comment, you know, and I'm like, oh, you know, da-da-da, you know, you just start a conversation like that. So the reason that wasn't happening wasn't because I was scary, or wasn't because whatever things I was worried about. It was other people. People don't they don't talk as much here, and they don't communicate, and they don't society doesn't. I'm blaming society, by the way. This is deep. Hashtag deep. But society in the UK is unsustainable because we don't have a sense of community. We don't have. Well, I'm saying that as a somewhat single man, isolated, and I don't do I don't do outdoor activities. But if you just stay at home, your chances of recovering from that are zero. You just become, I don't know, you just harbor hatred and you become an incel or some shit like that. But I don't know if we need Christianity. I personally don't think it's religion that will fix this. I think we need to just come together as human beings and be social and give other people a time of day, because we need to show them that we care about people in our community, and we would like the place to be better than whatever it could be, you know. My Portsmouth is the southern part of Portsmouth, and I went to the northern end once on a bus ride, and I already knew it was dodgy, but I went again on foot. And I think the northern end of Portsmouth is a shithole, and I do apologize if that hurts people's feelings. But I think there would be less dog feces on the streets if we talk to each other. I know that seems like quite a large jump, but if you talk to people, you know people, you form relationships with people, you know, that's something. And if everyone did that, that's a community, right? I don't know, because it goes on to the idea of shame. Like, why do people not pick up after their dog? Because they didn't feel like they need to, because there's no sense of shame. And so I do worry that there might need to be a certain level of shame within a community for it to function. And at the same time, you look at shows like Shameless. I haven't finished it, by the way. But Shameless shows you that, and some of the people I've seen in ASDA show you that having zero shame isn't necessarily a bad thing. But anyway, I don't know what the hell's going on in the UK, but, well, at least in where I'm staying. But I think people need to talk to each other more. I think we need a sense of community. And I don't know what I was going with this, but my next thing is vibrating the foot of my bed from my neighbor's bonking. This is a big deal, by the way, guys. I don't think I've fully elaborated enough. They're like clockwork. 3 in the morning, 6 in the morning, and then throughout the day, if whenever the will comes. But right now, what time is it? Please, phone. Thank you, phone. It's not time. It is not time right now. But the problem is my feet are I'm a tall guy, right? My bed was originally against the wall that they bonk on. So I moved that, and now my feet touch the wall that they bonk on. And they bonk so hard and so vigorously that it vibrates the walls. So in effect, I'm feeling this guy fucking me. And to avoid that, I curl up into a little ball on my bed, or I just change angles. But there's been times where them bonking piss me off. And it's not about them bonking having a good time. It's about the constant noise and shaking of my walls. And I can imagine that if I played music out loud, or anything with bass, like if you had a guy who played music from 9 to 9 every single day, and every single day he had bass, that you would lose your mind, right? You would snap. And this is a very small, it's a very small snippet of that I experienced. And when I was having a bad day, that made it worse. And I chose to let that make it worse. So the idea is, you can choose how things affect you. And another example of that would be my friend saying that he lost in football today, and now Monday is going to be horrible. I told him, dude, you can't wake up wanting Monday to be horrible. That's fucked up. Like, you can wake up looking forward to things on Monday. I'm looking forward to working with him on Monday. I'm looking forward to seeing the team, to catching up. That's what you know what? I have no right to say that, because just a few days ago, that was not how I felt. That was not... I wasn't processing things very well. And so I was going to say thank God, but that's double entendre. I thank God that I'm not feeling like that now. And I don't think I'm going to feel like that for a while. Anyway, my neighbors bonk quite often and very loudly. That was the moral of that story. Let's get on to the next one here. Oh, okay, well, this ties into... I wrote here, I think... I didn't write I think. I put that in right now to make me seem like less of a cunt. But I disrespect people who follow strict ideologies. This is why I'm... Is this why I'm not objective? ? Someone told me once I needed to be objective. And he sat there and we had a great conversation. I really enjoyed talking to him. In fact, at one point he left, got out of the car, and came back because it was just like we were just so engaged. We were having a great time. We were having a social. We were learning about, I was learning about what he got up to and stuff like that, and he was telling me stories about his life, and it was really engaging conversation, and I really liked that. And then he turned around and he said, "You've been wishy-washy this whole time. I think you need to." He got drunk before he said this, but he's like, "I think you need to become more objective." And I asked the guys what they felt about that, and I got the best advice I got was find something you're good at and just go and do that, because that's all you got to do in life to make money. And I wholeheartedly would like to do something like that. But anyway, this guy, he dropped that. It was a little truth bomb, or it was his opinion, and I appreciate his opinion. I respected him for that. I also knew that this guy was unfortunately a massive penis, but he had worked hard, and he had what he had because he worked hard. So, and I have nothing because I've yet to work hard. So how can I call this guy a penis? He also wasn't up for the idea of magic mushrooms to try and aid in he just wasn't of the opinion that mushrooms might be beneficial. He also dropped some life advice, which was, you just think that something's changing, but it's not really changing, and you're just sitting there doing nothing. I can respect that ideology as well. I am of the opinion that taking some time with psychedelics in the right environment, in a healing, respectful environment, would be life-changing. It would be very much something that could help people or heal people. I say that, again, lots of podcasts, lots of psychedelic users in those podcasts. So, anyway, I've got to learn to become more objective. And I think having a strict mindset, I remember meeting this guy. I didn't want to say this because it's kind of not nice, but I remember meeting this guy, and he had great taste in movies. I was like, "Oh, we should check this one out, check that one out." He was like, "I've seen that one, it was really good, blah, blah, blah." And he was such a intellectual, right? He was such a smart, well-mannered, thought-out person. And then he told me that he was religious. And he told me it was God, family, and then like his priorities were in that order or something. And I remember calling him out and being like, "So you would, your family isn't more important than God," or something. I don't know. I just said something like that, and I think I put my foot in it to show him what I thought about things. And we don't hang out anymore. He's a cool guy though. But I immediately felt disappointed by this guy. Disappointed that someone so smart, who came off so smart, would be held back by such an ideology, by religion nonetheless. Now, religion's not bad. I think it was made to give people hope, to give people an sense of understanding, and to make sure that people all follow the same rules. And that's great, right? If that's what it was made for, and it is helping people to do that, then that's it. Then it's doing its job. I don't think I need the Lord in my particular life at the moment. Hell, if I do something strange and I find God, I wouldn't mind jumping on that bandwagon. But I would want to go there not lying to myself. I'd want to go there with the intention of of fully believing in it. And at the moment, I can't. I can't find myself believing in certain things. And there's a very well-known thing that says the only thing you have to do is to read the Bible, and that cures Christianity. And I think that's very true, but that's not why I got into Christianity in the first place. I mean, back in South Africa, we had Sunday schools. We would sing sing in school. We would all hold hands and just like drop beats and shit like that. And I remember that being my favorite thing. I felt a sense of togetherness. I felt a sense of community. And the idea behind that was they were all trying to convert you to the church. So I've distanced myself from the church, and now I suffer from crippling loneliness, right? I say crippling loneliness because I think any form of loneliness left untreated, e.g. not getting out there and doing stuff, is eventually going to be bad for you, right? I don't know. I think I might be the kind of person that thrives. What's the word I'm looking for? There's like two types of people. There's a whole bunch of types. There's more than that type of people, all right? But optimist? No, I don't know what it is. But I'm not really, I don't know. When I'm sad, I talk to people and I feel better. So I'm definitely whatever that is. And not someone who goes into their room and recharges their batteries. Although I find myself doing that a lot these days. But my idea behind disrespecting people who follow strict ideologies is if you look up and you say the sky is blue and you're not willing to accept another person's viewpoint, or you're not willing to debate that topic or expand on that topic, then I think, to take this again to describe it more, I see a lot. When I have uninstalled Reddit, by God, there's nothing more I want to do than download Reddit when I'm taking a shit. But there is no reason why I can't look at cute puppy pictures and stuff, and cat pictures, just on Google. But Reddit is a shithole, and if you're on Reddit, you need to understand that, and don't get fully hive mind. Treat it as a tool, not as social media, because that is how it should be. But yeah, so I don't have Reddit. But what was the point? What was I even trying to get to? Oh yes, a lot of American political stuff is it's like left versus right, right? And there's a lot of people who are like, you can't be in the middle. You can't sit on the fence. They call it sitting on the fence. These Reddit calls it sitting on the fence. Fuck you, Reddit. They doesn't mean human beings. They means Reddit, right? And in this case, the hive mind is saying things like, oh, there's no such thing as sitting on the fence. And that's not really true, because there's a whole bunch of people on Reddit, and people are different, so people will argue that fact. But Reddit's a fucking cesspool, and if you say otherwise, you haven't opened your eyes to Reddit, and unfortunately that is the case. But perhaps this is me, who follows my strict ideology, just be willing to open up and expand on that, and I am willing to change my mind. If someone brings up a simple thing, like the Reddit gift thing, where everyone gives gifts to everyone, and everyone hopes like fuck that they get Bill Gates, because Bill Gates gives them a goddamn PC, and everyone else will get you a little card, or nothing at all. So that's normal. But anyway, the moral of the story is left or right, but the middle is always where it's at. You can't be the middle. You can't have and take and objectively view ideas from both sides and say, yeah, both sides have a point when it comes to this or that, and I'm willing to run with that. You have to fully indoctrinate left, or you have to fully indoctrinate right, and both of them are fucking shit, and we know that, right? So it's kind of like having the two-party system where you have like left or right, and that's the only two choices you got. And then that somehow seeping its way into actual people's minds, where actual people, instead of politicians or political groups, where people sit there and they think, oh, it's either one or the other. And I think that, unfortunately, or fortunately, I think very much fortunately, in this world, everything is a gray area. I can't even tell you to pick up the litter off the streets without it being a gray area. There's got to be a time when it's perfect. There's got to be a time for this, time for that. If there was this lady that saw a bin that was overturned, and she looked around and no one was doing anything about it, so she went up and she did it, right? And I think that that's nice, I think that's, good on you for doing that. And then she stood up and she said, that wasn't so difficult, now was it? And I think, that was like shaming or guilt tripping the other people, right? To make them feel bad. And so therefore, I think to myself, what made you clean up the litter in the first place? What drove you to be someone who then thought they could judge other people for not doing the litter? And I don't know if that's a clash of like the shame thing, where maybe this lady is operating on high levels of shame, very much the South African way, or not. By the way, I do associate South Africa with like, or at least my upbringing, like the Christian upbringing in South Africa is a fuckload of shame. Underneath politeness and pleasantry. And hell, politeness and pleasantry, 10 out of 10 all the way. But if you're doing it for incorrect reasons, then you might as well not do it at all. And that's just an example story, all right? I think the lady, if she wanted to do it, she should have done it. She shouldn't have said anything about it afterwards. She should have done it for herself. Or done it for the betterment of the community, right? Like those little Japanese kids that run around cleaning up after themselves. I'm not saying the Japanese people are the best. I'm just saying there's something in their culture where they will clean up after themselves and they'll be polite and efficient. And I think that if that is the way they can do it down there, I don't know what the hell they're doing down there. I know for a fact they're not fucking, because they got a big issue with that. And I've been just dropping. This is definitely not a safe for work podcast. I do apologize. But if this is 2 hours of rants at fucking midnight when I'm supposed to be sleeping, this is caffeine riddled rants. Thanks very much for the caffeine, Ben. I appreciate it. Anyway, I completely lost the story. But I think that if you're not willing to do now I'm getting into crazy things, because I'm very much of the mindset that the choices we make should be for the betterment of mankind, of humankind, of society. It should not be to make money. The country should not be run to make money. The country should be run so that it's safe, open as in the fucking police stations open, by the way. Safe, funded public sector, kind of. I say that as well. Do I know what the public sector entails? No. Do I know that it means police stations will stay open? My brain says yes. Do I think that means NHS will get money? My brain says yes. Is NHS being run in a way where it's being efficient? No. Is throwing more money going to fix that? No. Having it there, is that still better than nothing? Yes. But then again, so this is just a whole different avalanche now, but in a society where we have well-funded public sectors, right, where the general population's interactions with the governments things, the government-funded institutes, are positive experiences. If the community is willing to, I don't even know where I was going anymore, but I'm just saying, like, what is a good society? And if I'm paying taxes, why don't I just pay taxes to the government that I can actually respect and I think is being run well, instead of a government that's not doing those things? And I think that's a very big reason why people move in the first place. If you don't move to make money, then there's probably lots of different reasons to move. I can't think of them at the moment. But I'm just saying, if the people are treated well and the tax money is being spent well, then I don't mind paying more tax. I'm saying that now as a guy that's not making a lot of money. And I'm not saying this because I have money. If I have money, then I hope I don't go the way of my friend, which is, once you get money, you want to try and keep hold of it, and you don't want the government to take it. So then you become anti-tax and anti the people. But I'm very much the people. And I think that in a in a developed nation, we need to be making more steps towards the betterment of mankind and less steps about, this is definitely a fucking late night rant, that's for sure. We're making more steps about the betterment of mankind and less steps about making money. And I know that in this society and in this world, you got to make money to take care of your fellow man, you know. I just think we should tax the cunts that make video games and then fire everyone. Especially when they get in tax rebates that actually give them money and they don't pay tax. That should also be stopped. I'm looking at you, Activision Blizzard, scumfucks. Blizzard has been in trouble, just in case you don't know this fact. Blizzard has been in trouble as a development, as a games development company. They steal breast milk from the fridge from people who are keeping it for their own child. So if they're willing to take breast milk from babies, they're willing to take your goddamn money, right? And I think that now it's serious. It's no longer fun. And I think that's what happened. The vibes of this podcast are serious and not joyful, not as joyful as I like to be. But I'm optimistic for the future. And I think that's the most important thing. When people like Jordan Peterson, who I believe is a well thought out individual, when they say things like they are following a religion, I then think that I don't understand why they would feel the need to do that. You know, my brain doesn't comprehend it, and perhaps I need to do more thinking on that subject to fully understand why there's that disconnect. You know, for a while I think it is because of my experiences in South Africa and my experiences with religion, and I think that and all the kitty diddling. It's the same with the. Well, no. Now I'm definitely becoming anti-religious if I bring up every single religion's issues. So the idea is, don't be a dick to other people, and I think that the world can get along a lot better like that. The problem is people are being dicks. And the other problem is, if you have a society that runs on taxes and it's very well, you know, basically universal basic income, if we paid everyone enough where rent wasn't an issue, where starvation wasn't an issue, what would people do with their time? and a lot of people would not contribute to society if that is, if that is the case. So I'm really worried, but I feel like in the future, the best place to be would be a place that does fund the public sector, but also is very exclusive on who they let in, like Australia, right? Where you got to have like a goddamn PhD and 12 grand in savings to even be associated with an acceptance letter or something like that, And Australia has bogans. If you guys know what bogans are, it's the same people I'm describing now who, when universal basic income kicks in, won't do anything. They won't transition to their dreams, their aspirations, to painting, to art, to something like that, to something that AI can't do. In fact, very much like me, I don't think they'll follow their dreams or even have dreams. And then that becomes a problem. And you can't have a society or you can't have an efficient society if you're taking care of a level of people who don't wish to participate. Not very active group members, it's going to be a struggle. And so, yeah, I think we've just got to make peace with it, really. But we can't change politics and stuff. We can't change countries. So the best thing is, I like to bring up, which I don't follow, but it's to have the wisdom to know. No, wait. All right, I'm going to butcher the saying. There's a very famous saying, and the idea behind it is know what you can change and know what you can't, and then have the peace to be able to make peace with things you can't change. If your house is on fire, you can go and put a bucket of wood on it. You can go and be active. You can make a difference. But if there's a house on fire somewhere far away and you can't get to it in time, you gotta make peace. I don't know why this is the shittest saying, the shittest example I can give. But all the other examples have been like horrible, violent ones. So this one's a lot better, right? It's a house burning down. So totally 20% better. No blood. No one's in the house. But if the house is burning down, you can't make to it. You can't change it. You need to just make peace with it. You need to be like, that's the world. The world is I can help who I can help, and I can't help those who can't help themselves, or you can't help those who you physically can't get to help. I think the last thing on my list is how a certain individual who used to be my landlord would perform certain sexual acts that had multiple women at his beck and call. And he did it through the denial of his situation and chasing the highs. And yeah, it caught up to him in the end, but he was a big hit with the ladies because of what he could do, and he could do that very well, and they really appreciated that. So much so that I had a lady phone me after his passing, and she was like, "Yo, where is Paul at?" And I was like, "Yo, I'm really sorry, but he's gone now." And she was like, "Okay." Because the sure shit wasn't for his personality. Fuck, that's dark, man. He made a lot of money and he ate chicks out. And he was really passionate about that. And I regret not asking him more about techniques. But then again, I was cautious of who I was asking life advice from, so. Anyway. What a day. What a day. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I'm going to go to sleep now. This has been a 2-hour rant. Just know that life's a roller coaster. and you're gonna want to hold on, because that shit's gonna take you everywhere, and you're not strapped in. If you're not careful, you're not strapped in, yo. Make sure you're strapped in. Make sure you're safe. Don't become someone that focuses on the bad. They say, plan for the worst, hope for the best. Right? And if you don't have enough money to build a bunker in your garden, then all you can do is make peace with that and buy a couple of cans of beans. Alright? That's the best you got. Make peace with that. There's no way I'm gonna have to unlock my phone to turn it off, and I'm not gonna edit this, so enjoy this audio only podcast. Hooray! I hope you've enjoyed, or at least experienced, 2 hours, 10 minutes, and 46 seconds of your life.